chance that you would take a professional bout in the future after Mike, or is that off the table?
It's on it. It's on it. It's been talks. It's been talks. It's possible.
Okay, so not totally against that possibility.
No, not at all. Not at all. But we just don't know.
Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
He's number one right now. He's number one. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Floyd Mayweather has broken his silence on his comeback plans for 2026. He confirmed that his first appearance will actually take place this year in the much-discussed exhibition against Mike Tyson. However, what really grabbed attention was his hint at what comes after. Mayweather revealed that once the Tyson bout is out of the way, he's aiming for a full professional return, possibly against Terence Crawford. According to him, discussions are already underway for a sanctioned fight, and his camp is actively working to finalize the details of this long-awaited return.
Everything is going great. You know, I feel good. Working hard each and every day. And I can't wait for 2026.
Whenever boxing fans bring up dream matchups, Floyd Mayweather's name almost always takes center stage. Despite being retired, his influence continues to hover over the sport, sparking endless debates about how he would fare against today's elite fighters. Recently, trainer Robert Garcia weighed in on the hypothetical showdown between Mayweather and Terence Crawford. Garcia pointed out that although Mayweather's resume is nearly flawless, he never achieved the milestone that Crawford and Manny Pacquiao share, becoming undisputed champions. Even so, Garcia admitted that Mayweather's unmatched technical ability and commanding presence would make him favor Floyd if such a fantasy fight were ever to happen.
He doesn't need it anymore.
With his accomplishments, the only man to ever do 3 weight divisions undisputed. Is he now a part of the greatest of all time conversation? And not of this era, but of all time.
Definitely is the greatest, one of the greatest of all times. You know, there's still greats out there. There's still, you know, his era or last era, you know, with the Mayweathers, with the Pacquiaos. I think he's, you know, already accomplished more. Pacquiao was 8 division, so we could argue there because Pacquiao was, 8 division is almost impossible, and he did it. Mayweather never became undisputed. He's a 5 division champion, but never became undisputed. Never really followed that unification, stuff like that. So I think when it comes to accomplishments, I think he's already done more.
Garcia was quick to emphasize the milestones that make Terence Crawford stand out. Crawford accomplished something Mayweather never managed, claiming every belt in a single division. Manny Pacquiao, too, earned recognition by becoming undisputed across several weight classes. Garcia noted that this is the one area where Mayweather's otherwise flawless record feels unfinished. While Floyd went undefeated, dominated countless opponents, and built a legendary resume, the undisputed crown always eluded him. For Garcia, that doesn't lessen Mayweather's greatness, but it does underline why Crawford deserves to be mentioned among boxing's most complete fighters. Still, drawing on his decades of experience, Garcia explained why he would give the edge to Mayweather in a head-to-head matchup. In his view, Floyd's defensive brilliance, timing, and unmatched ring IQ set him apart.
I'd probably still pick Mayweather. Both in the prime, I would probably pick Mayweather to win, just like I would probably pick Pacquiao to win, both in the prime.
Ooh, to beat Crawford.
Yeah, I think so.
Prime for prime? Nice.
Yeah. But is Crawford one of the greatest of all time? 100%. There definitely he is.
With all that said, what can you ultimately say about what occurred and what we saw Saturday night?
It was a great event, great turnout, 70,000 plus people. Gate was fucking insane from what I understand. You know, fucking that's good for boxing, man. Good for boxing, good for all the younger fighters. You know, all these new things going on. I think it's going to be a positive thing for all the younger fighters.
Pointed out that Floyd Mayweather's career can be seen in 2 legendary chapters. First came Pretty Boy Floyd, the daring young talent who overwhelmed rivals with blistering speed, relentless offense, and crisp combinations. Then emerged Money Mayweather, the strategist, defensive wizard, and pay-per-view powerhouse who transformed boxing into a global business spectacle. Olau described Floyd as more than a fighter. He was a visionary who shaped both his style and his brand. As Pretty Boy, he won hearts with risks and knockouts, while as Money Mayweather, he controlled the ring with precision, mind games, and showmanship. Together, these two versions of Floyd created a legacy that extends beyond victories, cementing him as both a boxing legend and an architect of the sport's modern business era.
Wait, I'm sorry. He's a genius. He is a fucking... You know, when I get bored with today's crop of boxers, and Terence, to be fair, has kind of helped me out of my boredom, but sometimes I just go on YouTube and I watch the 24/7s, and then I watch the fight. I'm not joking, I watch the whole fucking episodes, and then I watch the fight. And my guy is a genius. A genius. There will always be an argument, oh, he should have fought that person then, and I get it. I get it, right? It's kind of the argument you can't throw at Muhammad Ali, right? You could throw that argument at Floyd. But dude, unbeaten is unbeaten. Unbeaten is unbeaten. Multi-weight world champion is multi-weight world champion. You know what I mean? I've never seen a boxer so like, I'm gonna work you out, and then when I work you out, you're done. Shall I repeat that? I'm gonna work you out, and when I work you out, you're done. And Floyd had this thing where first 2 rounds, you think, oh shit, man, this guy's in this fighting, and then he works you out. And then he works you out. Floyd, Pretty Boy Floyd was better than Money, but Money Floyd had obviously the fights, right? In terms of the fights that brought all the eyeballs onto him, Oscar De La Hoya fight, you know what I mean? That Pretty Boy Floyd was, look, Diego Corrales is probably the best performance really from Pretty Boy Floyd, right? Corrales, I think, was unbeaten at the time, and look what he did to him. But Money Floyd brought the eyeballs on. That's when he started being controversial. Genius outside the ring in terms of marketing, genius inside the ring in terms of defensively, offensively as well. People don't give him as much credit offensively.
Ab Judah, who once shared the ring with Floyd Mayweather, didn't hold back in declaring Terence Crawford the standout of this era. He explained that every generation has its defining star, and right now Crawford carries that mantle. Judah even referenced Canelo Alvarez's past remarks that Crawford might surpass Floyd, a statement he believes shouldn't be overlooked. In Judah's eyes, Crawford has already proven his dominance by conquering elite opponents across multiple divisions, with a style so well-rounded that no one has managed to unravel it. While Judah showed full respect to Mayweather's legacy, he made it clear that today belongs to Crawford. For him, comparing fighters from different eras is inevitable, but in this moment, Crawford deserves recognition as the #1 fighter of the current generation.
Right now, #1. This is his generation. This is his timeline. He is the king right now.
Just seen in the press conference, Canelo said that Crawford's better than Mayweather. What did you think?
He's not lying. He fought him. He should know. How can somebody tell somebody that fought both of these guys, he know.
Yeah.
If anybody would know, Canelo would know.
What do you think's next for both?
I don't know.
Too early? You like to see a rematch?
Not a rematch. I believe so. Rematches always sound good. But in a rematch, it'll be the same thing.
Yeah. Cool.
Matter of fact, in a rematch, I'm predicting stoppage earlier.
Yeah. You think?
I think so too. Yeah, I think so.
Edmund Edwards offered a different perspective, firmly dismissing the idea of a Floyd Mayweather versus Terence Crawford showdown. In his view, the matchup feels unnecessary and unfair, as Crawford deserves to be appreciated for his current accomplishments without constant comparisons to past legends. Edwards suggested that if Mayweather were really interested in a crossover-style spectacle, a clash with Roy Jones Jr. would make more sense, given the star power and intrigue that pairing would generate. For Edwards, Crawford is in his prime and should be celebrated for what he's achieving right now, not pulled into endless fantasy scenarios. He argued that framing Crawford against Floyd not only diminishes Crawford's moment, but also takes attention away from the true historical impact of his career. In his eyes, the sport would be better served by honoring Crawford as the defining figure of this era, rather than chasing impossible dream fights.
Obviously, never going to get this fight, unfortunately. Just two different generations. And I'm not necessarily asking you who would win. But if Floyd and Crawford were to cross paths prime for prime, would you just put that as that's 50-50, man? I don't know. Or are you just like, I might still give the edge to Floyd?
Man, I don't really want to compare them right now, Hans, if we seeing everything that's going on with Floyd and Roy. You know what I mean? And, they competitive guys. Next thing you know, Bud and Floyd to be mad at each other, man, and wanting to fight because people is like putting them against each other. Let's just enjoy the moment. I don't know. It's a close fight. You know, it's things Floyd do better. It's things that Bud do better. But I'd rather not say, because I'm not going to just lie and just say nothing, like, and make up something just to. I got my opinion on, you know, how the fights would go, and, you know, but I think we should just let the man enjoy his great moment. He's a great fighter. And I see a lot of immature stuff, and I don't like the way things is going with Floyd and Roy. They two guys that a lot of the younger guys look up to, and they taking shots at each other in the media because of the who's better and all that kind of stuff. So, you know, I just want to see Bud enjoy his moment. And, you know, unfortunately, they didn't fight. You know, they could have made, they kind of two different eras though. Even though they was fighting at the same time, Floyd kind of was doing his different thing over there with PBC, and Bud's a lot young, about 10 years younger than him. So it didn't happen, and we got to just live with it. You know what I mean?
Ron Porter gave his thoughts on the unusual news of a Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson matchup, describing it as something closer to a street fight than a legitimate boxing contest. He noted that real animosity exists between the two, with both carrying years of unresolved tension. Porter suggested that this kind of personal rivalry could turn the fight into more than just a battle of skill, which is why he doubts any boxing commission would officially sanction it. While the spectacle would certainly attract attention, Porter warned that it also risks crossing boundaries the sport should avoid. In his view, the potential for chaos outweighs the excitement, making him question whether the bout will ever take place in a proper ring. Other analysts echoed his concerns, criticizing the growing wave of exhibition matches featuring names like Floyd, Tyson, and even Jake Paul, arguing that these events focus less on competition and more on cashing in on star power.
I don't see this one coming unless you know the history of these two guys.
Yeah, they don't like each other too much, do they, Sean?
When you look at the history, it's kind of like sense for a street fight. It doesn't make sense for like a in the ring situation, and so it's kind of like, I guess for the sake of words, crazier things have happened, and then now you have to say, well, no, it doesn't get crazier than this.
Yeah, you're not kidding, right? You know, obviously we watched Mike Sean in November against Jake Paul. I think clearly those guys like each other. Floyd and Mike, not so much. Obviously, there's been some tension there over the years. Do you think they go in there, despite the fact that this is an exhibition fight? I mean, do they go in there and do they both try and take each other out?
I don't know what that fight looks like. And, you know, that kind of was my biggest apprehension with coming on with you guys today. It was like, how do you analyze what a fight between Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather could look like, right? So then you think about when Floyd got in the ring with Big Show. We already know, like, we know now more than we've ever known before that the WWE is fake. It's kind of like acceptable. Yeah. But it wouldn't be acceptable in a boxing ring, you know? It wouldn't be acceptable if there becomes some sort of weird antics and things like that. I mean, I guess I'll have to do what I did once before with Mike and Jake, and I'm gonna go on record for saying this doesn't happen.
You falls apart sometime before.
This doesn't make sense. I don't know. I don't know how you can make it make sense. I don't know how you can make this one make sense.
And to your point, they may have it, but if they have it, they haven't said it yet. There's no date for the fight, no location that's been announced. So,
right.
Observers noted that even Jake Paul's high-profile bouts failed to truly captivate fans, raising the question of why boxing keeps leaning on retired legends instead of building up today's active stars. To critics, this trend reflects a troubling weakness in the current generation, suggesting that modern fighters aren't drawing mainstream attention on their own. Analysts warn that if the sport continues down this path, it risks becoming overly dependent on nostalgia, drifting further away from its foundation of genuine competition.
Like this? No, I didn't like the Jake-Mike fight. I told you guys that. I didn't think Mike should have been fighting then. I don't think he should be fighting now. I don't like the fact that Jake and Gervonta are fighting when Gervonta is a sitting champion. At least these two are retired. But this is an indication, and I've said this over and over, of where boxing is. That this will probably have a ton of intrigue. But it's almost like the WWE rolling out Stone Cold Steve Austin or rest in peace Hulk Hogan whenever they need a big time pop and whenever they need to get the crowd energized because their current stars just aren't hitting the same. This is what boxing feels like right now. Boxing feels like Antiques Roadshow. Honestly, this kind of stuff, that's what it feels like. And again, it's the spectacle, it's the entertainment value, and it is the era of the unpredictable, as Mike says there, but it's not good. I can tell you that. It is not good. This is why we need people like Turkey Al-Sheikh, Eddie Hearn, Oscar De La Hoya, hell, Dana White to come into boxing and fix this shit, because stuff like this and Jake and Gervonta is kind of the norm now. Mike says, I still can't believe Floyd really wants to do this. He added, it's going to be detrimental to his health, but he wants to do it, so it's signed and it's happening. It's not even believable to hear Mike talk like that now. Because yes, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago, he'd be right. But we saw Mike struggle to walk into the ring versus Jake. And yeah, Mike was dangerous enough for Jake not engage with him, but Jake not engaging with him just circled and jabbed his way to the ending of an exhibition where both guys get their hand raised, and we all feel like, yeah, that wasn't a fight, because clearly Mike is not the same, and clearly Jake did not want to take that extra step to try to actually put him away.
Joe Rogan weighed in by highlighting the personal friction between Floyd Mayweather and Mike Tyson. He noted that Floyd's dislike for Mike goes back decades, and that kind of history could influence how the fight plays out. Rogan suggested that Mayweather might not stick to his trademark defensive style if they ever meet in the ring. Instead, he speculated that Floyd could even chase a knockout as a way to finally settle their grudge. While knockouts haven't been Floyd's calling card in the later stages of his career, Rogan stressed that raw emotion can shift a fighter's mindset. For him, the idea of Mayweather abandoning caution to make a statement against Tyson is what makes the matchup fascinating, even if it's still unlikely to happen.
Really? So they're not trying to knock each other out?
No, Mike Tyson and Floyd Mayweather don't like each other. They have not liked each other forever.
Tyson and Mayweather.
Yes.
But they like
Mike Tyson and Mayweather don't like each other.
Huh.
If there's a fight that might be real, like where Mike Tyson might say, I'm going to knock this motherfucker out, or I'm going to try to knock this motherfucker out.
It would be Floyd? They wouldn't fight.
Yeah, because if you look at like the Jake Paul fight, no disrespect, and if you look at the Roy Jones fight, no disrespect.
Yeah.
They look like they were sparring.
Yeah.
Right? It looked like there was agreements made.
Yeah.
Working. I do not know if Mike would honor any of those agreements. Really? If there was a moment
They've
to
had
crack.
beef for years.
Yeah. If there was a moment to really... Could he hit him? I mean, that little motherfucker can move still. At 50 years old, he's so slick.
Yep.
He's still in shape. He's still fit.
They're both old as fuck.
As fuck.
But this is the boxing.
How old is Mayweather?
67.
Dude, Bernard
49?
Hopkins
49.
was still at the best in the world at 50.
Yep.
I mean, that's incredible.
That doesn't mean shit, though. With this. Because he was active fighting contenders.
Kentucky's got Gomez on the ground.
You're talking about two retired guys.
Yeah.
Fighting the exhibition.
So
it's just
weird.
money grabs.
It's
just,
so weird,
Yeah, it is weird. It's money grabs. I don't like it, but it's fun. You know, it's something to watch.
I'll hate on it, but I'll tune in.
Yeah, I'll tune in. It's, but it's not really fighting.
So Jake Paul's not going to actually be trying to knock out Gervonta Davis.
There's a reason it says exhibition.
If I had a guess. Yeah. The event itself would be a world-class venue and be presented to a global audience with new in-ring technology elements that will reshape how boxing is presented and scoring is achieved for years to come. What does that mean?
That shit has Abu Dhabi written all over
What does that mean? This is Tyson versus Mayweather. What does that mean? Where are they doing that? Are they doing that in Saudi Arabia?
But of course.
Because
they have all the money.
My friend.
And they just go, what do you want to see? I'd always like to see Floyd Tyson.
Who wants to fight an alligator?
Bill Helwani wrapped up the conversation with a straightforward take, arguing that a Floyd Mayweather versus Mike Tyson clash is highly unlikely to ever be an official fight. He explained that most insiders see it purely as an exhibition, something built for entertainment value and revenue rather than competition. Helwani added that many believe the Tyson bout could simply serve as a tune-up, setting the stage for Floyd's real comeback against Terence Crawford in a fully sanctioned contest. By framing the Tyson matchup as little more than a sideshow, he shifted focus back to the bigger story, the serious possibility of Mayweather stepping back into the professional ring. In his eyes, the exhibition is just a marketing tool to stir hype while talks for Crawford move forward.
And Mayweather has been out of the spotlight for a lot longer now. Yeah. I don't think there's interest in it.
Does it happen, GC? No.
Which has more of a chance of happening, Connor? White House card or
White House card seems to be happening. I got to eat my crow on that one.
Yeah.
It's tough. Tyson Floyd,
no chance.
Also, even if it does happen, it's just like, who really cares?
Yeah.
Like, it's not them at their highest level. It's an exhibition. Everybody will clown on it when it eventually does happen.
There is a way that exhibitions can be fun. Tyson versus Roy Jones was actually like the best version of that, right? An exhibition that like I thought was exciting, delivered for the fans, but also that was so long ago for Mike Tyson. The version that we saw
like early 50s.
Yeah, the version that we saw against Jake Paul just can't
Against
do it
the
anymore.
guy around his size too. Floyd Mayweather is not that.
Roy's pretty small, but
So
no, not as small as Floyd though.
Yeah, Roy fought at heavyweight at one time.
Yeah, Floyd is very small.
Mike Roy was super interesting. It was in the, very kind of early stages of the pandemic.
Yeah.
8 months in, but we were
Yeah.
still kind of dark and depressed at that point. And like Tyson hadn't fought, it was nostalgic. It was Roy. Okay, so I got the appeal. I got the appeal of Jake because he was so much younger and he's, a novice compared to Tyson. I don't know. Okay, now what's the appeal here? You know what I mean?
Two
What's
of the greatest boxers ever to fight each other.
Just, I feel like we just saw that with Tyson and Roy. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of the same hook.
I feel like Tyson and Roy didn't have the same vast reach that
was a
Jake
big
Paul
deal.
versus.
Guys, that's all for today. Make sure you stick around for more updates coming soon.